It's 8 p.m. and 70 years ago at 8 p.m. Elvis Aaron Presley was playing here at this gym. So it's kind of eerie now, isn't it?
It is. Hey, is that music coming from that car?
There's music?
It might be coming from that car.
I do hear music.
Let that car pass and see if it's... I still hear it.
I do too. Shine your flashlight. That's crazy. There are people coming. Hey, all you cool cats and fun felines. It's Leah and
Lynn.
And today we're in Bono, Arkansas at the old Bono gym. We're going to talk about what happened 70 years ago today. So follow us. And Lynn, what are we going to do?
Get into the groove.
This is Danny Honnold, president of the Historical Society in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So tell us what happened here 70 years ago today.
70 years ago today, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, and Carl Perkins performed in this very building.
Wow.
What a lineup.
Was that because of Betty Kraft?
Yes, because of Betty Kraft, a girl that was in the class of 1957. They was trying to have something to raise money for their senior class trip.
I had seen him in Nettleton, and I just fell in love with him then.
But Betty went to a place called Nettleton, Arkansas, because Elvis was there in concert April 4th of 55 to see Elvis, and her mother said, well, why don't you get Elvis to help raise money for Bono High School? And so Betty said, that's a good idea, Mom, and that's what she did.
Cool.
Brilliant.
So Elvis and Bill Black and Scotty Moore, the Blue Moon Boys, performed here, and you said they rode here in a yellow Cadillac?
Yes, Elvis had just got a yellow convertible Cadillac, and he drove here, and on the way here he stopped at that town called Nettleton because the door wouldn't stay shut, and he got Marvin Higgins, a guy that owned the service station, to repair it. And so he repaired it, and he said, hey man, I'm going to Bono for a concert, why don't you come with me? And Marvin said, I've got to stay here and keep my service station open. So he said, okay. So Elvis got in his convertible and he drove on.
I think I would have been like, you know what, this service station can't wait. I'll go with you, Elvis.
Yeah.
I heard the thing, I think Trey said that whenever he got here in that yellow Cadillac, that house right there, he asked the owner of that house if he could park it in his driveway.
Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about it, but there was probably so many people here. I reference back to Nettleton. That's kind of the lost concerts. You can't find it in the books, but we got the playbill of when Elvis played there. And the problem back then, the local newspaper was the Jonesboro Evening Sun. They put the promo bill in the day of the concert saying Elvis was at the Nettleton Gym that night.
So if you didn't read the paper that day, you didn't know anything about it.
That's correct. This was kind of around the time that Bob Neal was the manager, and Colonel Parker was trying to come in and take over because everyone knows that the Colonel had Elvis's best interest, but he had more of the Colonel's best interest than Elvis's. So that's why that the promotion was not to the level that it should have been at the time. So consequently, there was only $36 made total at the Nettleton concert, and very few people showed up. So if you was at the Nettleton concert, you're one of the few that got to see Elvis at a small venue.
That's amazing. I bet that was a magical night that they'll never forget.
Yeah.
But didn't they raise a lot more money here?
Yes, since they did a little more promotion on this. Betty said that they gave her playbills to put up around town and posters and stuff.
The posters. It had the Elvis Presley show starring Betty Kraft and Elvis Presley and Bob Neal. And I thought, oh my goodness.
And then her dad didn't like the wiggling hips, so he told her to go take those posters down.
He stood up from his desk and he shook his finger at me and he said, no daughter will have her name on a billboard with Elvis Presley with those sideburns. He didn't know about the shaking hips at the time.
And I wish to this day Betty would have saved some of them posters for all of us. And she wished she had saved them for herself. But she was a very special lady to be able to get Elvis to come and play in this gymnasium on September 6th of 1955.
He stood in the door there with his guitar and he smiled that, lopsided grin, and I melted.
One of the most famous things that happened at this gym, there was such a crowd showed up and was jumping up and down in rhythm, it broke the floor joist to the gym and they had to repair it. So that tells you how many people showed up. The class of 57's cut for this concert was $2,500.
Oh my gosh, in 1955.
And then Elvis and the Colonel and Johnny Cash and Roy Orbison and Carl Perkins, they all made money off it. Now, one thing you need to realize that the night before this, because this is back when this was on a Monday night that he was here. So the night before, he was at Forest City at the Smith Arena. And the special thing about this, Gladys Presley was there to watch her boy perform at Forest City, Arkansas, which was about 45 miles from Memphis, so it was a straight shot for her to be there. But for Gladys to see her boy Elvis perform the night before he was at a Bono, it makes this kind of a special occasion.
That's awesome. So did they make the class help pay to fix the floor?
I can't answer that. Since her dad was on the school board, maybe not. They might have had insurance that would have covered that. So, but you're talking about it's a basketball gym. So at each end of the gym, there's a rim with a net up, and the kids went in there. I've been in this gym when they was having homecoming and you couldn't hardly get in there. So I know what it feels like to be in Bono Gym when there was just a very significant crowd, but I have no idea what it was like to be in this gym. The only thing I can compare it to was St. Patrick's Day, 1974, when I took my wife to the Coliseum in Memphis to watch a sold-out crowd watch Elvis perform. They was going to do 2 shows. They sold out so much, they ended up doing either 4 to 8 shows.
Wow.
2 shows a day. So that showed that Elvis was coming back.
Do you know which door they went in?
This is the door, this is the main door to the gymnasium. This is where they took the tickets up and when they got in there. We've got a photograph of Carl Perkins when he performed here, but we don't know if it was this concert, because after this was over, they did so good, they decided they wanted Elvis to come back.
Of course.
So when they contacted the Colonel or Bob Neal, whichever one they contacted, said, we want Elvis to come back, they said, no, he's already been on television. He's too big. You can't get him back, but you can have Perkins and Cash. So Perkins and Cash came back and performed in this gym, and we've got a picture of Carl Perkins in this gym performing. It wasn't like today where everybody's got a camera on their hip. There's so very few pictures of Elvis in concert in these little, we called them sock hops years ago, because you would have to take your shoes off to go in the gym or you'd scuff them up. That's why they called them sock hops.
Is that why Carl Perkins wrote, "Don't step on my blue suede shoes"?
Down in Earl, Arkansas, which is not very far from here, that he was walking around, and I don't know if it was him or Elvis had on the blue suede shoes, but someone stepped on it. He said, hey man, get off my blue suede shoes, and that's when he wrote it. And of course, Elvis the one that put the cherry on top of blue suede shoes and made it so famous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Elvis had a way of doing that. So he thinks that this is the door that Elvis went in?
Yes, this is the main door where they always took up tickets and stuff.
Well, I just gotta walk up these steps.
Just be careful of that wasp nest up there.
I can see Elvis leaned up against the building right there. wonder who left that ladder there.
I don't know, but see, there's blocks over here on the other side, like right down there, where someone has climbed down and they've set it up where you can get it. I think this is this was a locker room or something.
So it's easy to get in there?
Look at that old-timey urinal there. Wow.
Elvis performed in here. Look at the floor. That is cool. Look at the old bleachers.
Look over here on this side. There's an old basketball goal right there.
Sure is.
There's an old basketball goal laying there?
Yes.
Right here. Didn't you shake Elvis's hand?
This hand right here.
Here, can you shake the hand that shook the world.
I've got tickets to his next concert at the Coliseum in Memphis. I still have it, $15.
I wish we could go back and
Too bad we
be
weren't.
excited for that upcoming show. And
We weren't born in about 1929 or something.
Can you believe how sad we was?
oh,
You know,
still to this day, it's so sad. I can't imagine the gravity of the moment when all that happened.
So they say that everyone knows where that was alive at that time, knows where they were when Elvis passed away. You have a kind of rather unique story about that because you worked at the phone company, correct?
I worked at the phone company, and I had a boss that was wanting my tickets to see the last concert at Memphis, and she was always trying to trick me. Well, she came over and got me off my position and took me in her office and said that Elvis had died. And I told her, I said, I don't care what you're telling me. I'm not going to give you my tickets. And she said, no, Danny, Elvis died. And so it took a few minutes to do that. And working for the phone company, this is the impact. You think a snow is a monumental event in a neighborhood. Years ago, when it snowed, people pick up their phone and call the neighbor and say, did you see it snow? And there would be enough of them do it, it would lock the office up. Where you couldn't make no calls, it would lock it up solid. The day Elvis died, it locked up the offices within 100 miles of Memphis.
Wow.
So people couldn't call emergency services, they couldn't call their family. It took a while for it to unlock those offices.
That's crazy.
But Elvis stopped the phone company for a while on the day that he passed away.
He stopped everything to probably.
Here we are. We're 60 miles from Memphis,
And
60 miles from Graceland. So.
Apparently sold every flower in the surrounding area.
Yeah, he is.
Thanks, Danny, for coming and talking to us. Are there any parting words for the Elvis fans watching?
Well, there's something about being here at a gymnasium that I know that Elvis was at 70 years ago, because I met Elvis about 68 years ago over at Graceland. And I've always had a kinship, just like anyone, they're always reaching to grab hold to be a part of Elvis. And Elvis always included people. He was famous for taking softball stuff in neighborhoods and playing softball with kids in the neighborhood and taking them Cokes and sandwiches and stuff. I've heard it more than once. But you got to remember this about Elvis. He passed this way but once. He cannot recall the days that are gone, but the passing moment was his long enough to grasp your hand in friendship, to lighten each other's burden, to give rest to the weary, and to comfort those who mourn. That's brotherly love, and that's what Elvis has taught most of us through our life, through his inspiration of his performances and his example.
That's great.
Elvis left this building 70 years ago today.
That was perfect. Thank you, Danny. Keep taking care of business. Okay, so thanks for following us on this little adventure today of the Bono Gym and Elvis Presley.
Who knows how long it's going to be here.
Yeah, we wanted to come in, especially since today's the 70th anniversary of him playing at this building. This was a perfect day to come.
Capture a moment in time.
That's right. So, Lynn, what do you think our viewers should do?
If you like this video, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Atomic Hive. Every like and comment and share that you guys give us is a ray of hope for us, because we're a small channel and we're trying to grow.
A ray of hope. So, and thanks to Danny Honnell for taking the time to talk to us and share the history of Bono Gym.
And if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified when we upload new videos.
That's right, and we do that every weekend. So until then,
Thanks to Danny Honnell, and stay groovy.
and keep taking care of business.